your wife now, that household and that mentality, there's been a massive shift over the years in how now you walk, talk, and act. You've gone on to do now bigger things. You're embodying a lot more nuances, new curve or opportunities, new directions. Is there been a mental shift at one part in time where, you know, when bodybuilding was that focus, now moving on to other endeavors? Was it like a switch and now you're kind of... Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The switch is happening right now, and it's hard because you know the transition.
Yeah.
From giving up something that you've poured your life into, have sacrificed holidays, have sacrificed sleep, have sacrificed, you know, feeling XYZ. Good. I mean, you name it. You name it. You could write a list out, and people are like, man, I couldn't do the first 3 you said there, and you got a list of 100 things, but. The shift is now, and I could tell you that I owe it to my wife, and I call her my angel for a reason. You know, was going through, felt like my life was chaos, and she was my peace during this time. I think any man that could resonate with that would understand that when you have peace in your life, you feel like you can do anything. I could take on the world. So that shift for me is happening now, and it's hard to think about giving something up that you've. I'm a sentimental person, and like I hate selling a car I've had for 3 years because I'm like, man, I love that car.
You're a car guy too.
You know?
I'm a truck guy.
So the shift is now, and people ask me, am I going to compete anymore? And I can't say no, because that fire still burns in me, the competitor side, and I still have some fuel in the tank. So I can't say no, I'm not going to compete anymore. But I know if I pour myself all in on what I do next, it will be successful. And in this event and in this mastermind, which I'm building, I literally am all freaking in on this. I burn the boats. There's no there's no looking back and saying, well, maybe. And I did that. I'm doing that with my marriage. I burn the boats. There's no choice. We will make this successful.
You're all in. And I mean, all in bodybuilding and all in everything you're doing in life. But now again, with this mindset change, I understand because, you know, I was all in on everything here, but I wasn't all in other things. And as soon as I retired, I realized, and you could have asked me back then, Steve, you could have probably said, Flex, you're probably one of the most balanced guys I know with bodybuilding and family and everything else. So what did I think? But then when I kind of put stock into other things and I kind of moved away from something that was everything for me, and then I realized that, man, there was not as much balance as I thought. Now I'm all in, truly all in life, right? And the abundance that I've got back from being all in other endeavors, you know, and there's so many different endeavors. And you can say, well, you can't be all in everything. It's like, I'm all in on everything I do. I prioritize certain things over other things, but family is prioritized over everything. And I know for you, that's the same thing. And with everything you got going on, you know, off camera, we've spoken about family, we've spoken about, you know, Michelle and how that's been a game changer in terms of how that button has been clicked for you now and seeing so much more for life. I'm proud to hear this, man. There's just so much success comes from foundation. Yeah. And I have an incredible foundation in my house. You have that foundation, and there's like this new burning of the candle for you. There's a seventh gear that you found, I feel.
It is. Bodybuilding has been such a selfish aspect of my life. It's all focused on you. And then when you could shift that focus on other things, other people specifically, like, I mean, I'm going to make the announcement on what we got going on. You know, a lot of people know since I competed last August at the Texas Pro, you know, what am I going to do next? I didn't do the Arnold, sat that out. A lot of people know what my ultimate goal during this time is, and that is for my wife and I to have a baby. And last year, last summer, it was before the Texas Pro. We found out my wife was pregnant about halfway through prep, which was a miracle in itself. And then a few weeks later, she miscarried, which was probably one of the most difficult things I ever went through. And literally, it was the week of the show. We find this out, and I see my wife just destroyed. And it was the hardest thing to see her. And there's nothing you can do but comfort her and be there for her. I saw her go in the baby's room and just sit and just cry, and that just freaking crushed me. I mean, 3 days out of a show when you're supposed to be focused on the show, you know, my mind's over here thinking about her. But I dedicated, you know, that prep, that show to that, and I'm not even going to call it a miscarriage. I heard this recently, and to put a light on it, it's called we call it a heaven carriage, because that baby has lived a pure, innocent life. You know, it's waiting for us up there. So we believe that. We got a little Spartacus that we called him. We got a little Spartacus up there waiting for us. Spartacus. But yeah, so from that moment after I was competing, I said, you know what, we're shutting everything down. I got to get my body right. And if you know what that means coming off completely everything, hormonally, get my body as fertile as possible. And spent the last 8 months working on trying to have a baby. And we just found out 2 weeks ago that Michelle is pregnant. So we had a beautiful ultrasound 2 days ago. I sent you the picture. Baby is healthy, a little over 9 weeks, coming along great. Michelle is super sick, which is a good sign.
Michelle.
Yeah, I know. She's like, you did this. No, she's amazing. She's a trooper, an absolute warrior. But yeah, she's going through going through it right now.
Yeah. Man, when you sent me the news, I was so happy. I mean, I was smiling, my cheeks were hurting. But I asked you, you know, obviously you don't have to speak about it if you don't want to. And he was like, no, I'm going to break the news, my man. I was like, yes.
Anywhere I talk about it, I haven't made a post. I haven't, I've told some obviously friends and family and stuff. But
so this is like a really official.
If I'm going to do it anywhere, I'm going to do it right here.
I'll give you a man hug when I get off the podcast, my friend. Wow. And obviously for you finding out, you know, you're going to be a dad, that I'm sure was incredible motivation.
There's a shift. It really, truly happens. It's like a snap. It's like you can't even explain it, but it makes it like, okay, I'm not doing this for myself anymore. What I do in life, you know, you get married, that's another step in maturity as a man. Okay, I got a woman to take care of and provide for. Now it's like, no, we have another mouth to feed. Like, I'm a stepdad to 3 amazing kids, but now to have my own, and that's gonna be, you know, we're gonna be raising it's. There's words that you just can't describe the excitement. To hear my family's excitement, like my mom's been waiting forever for you know for baby Kuclo to be here. She's like, I don't think I can wait till November. So
oh my gosh, I've met your mom. Yeah. She is such a passionate supporter of you. I mean, she's been in so many shows. She's probably one of the load of people, like my mum. They're probably in contention who's the loudest, shouting for their son.
Good thing we weren't competing in the same division.
That's true.
It would have been ugly.
Keep them separated. But then I'm sure when you told her the news, what was her reaction? I can gather, but what was she was probably beside herself, right? She was.
So just to tell the story on it, because she's obviously like one of the first people we called. After the miscarriage initially, we went to the doctor. The doctor said, okay, you know, everything's great. You're healthy. Everything's fine. Everything, you know, went through normal. Try for the next 6 months. And if at that point you guys haven't had success, you know, we'll contact a fertility clinic and maybe start that route. So it was coming up on 6 months, and I was like, babe, let's just not waste any more time. Let's get on it. If whatever we have to do, you know, they have all kinds of different regimens that you can put on, you know, women could take, men can take to help increase your fertility. Or if you go the full IVF route, you can do that too. Yeah. So we set up an appointment. Nowadays, everything is via Zoom. So we had a virtual consult initially. You tell the doctor what you're looking for, you know, how's thing. You do the whole you know, explanation of what we're desiring and then where we're at in our life. And he gives you like the worst news ever. He's like, okay, there's a 3 to 5% chance that you can have a baby. And then if we go IVF route, like maybe 10 to 15, you're like, those are terrible freaking odds.
That's the odds they give you?
Yeah. Oh Thanks, Doc. Michelle and I, we love to practice. There's a lot of practice involved. It's
explain the practice.
So literally 4 days before we have this meeting, and then the weekend comes, and Michelle's like, I'm a little late on my period, you know, and so we stopped and got a pregnancy test, and I think we're kind of going about our business, and she comes out of the bathroom, and she's like there's just like this her wide eye look, and she's like, I am pregnant. Oh my! Wow. I mean, we were just ecstatic, and then so we called my mom. I mean, she was screaming, and I couldn't imagine. My dad couldn't hear her, and she's like, "Why are you screaming? What's wrong?" So yes, my mom is terribly excited.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this segment. Check out the full interview on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. Help us by subscribing. Leave a like, comment, or a positive review. Click this to see what YouTube recommends, and this to see the full interview. See you on the next one. Out.